Sometimes authors get brilliant ideas, some that seem unique and creative and out of this world and could be the next big thing. And David Leviathan had this idea, he wrote it. I read it, and his big idea, it sucked. Hi guys, so today I am doing a review of Every Day by David Leviathan. This was on the Reading Quest readathon journey that I am doing. So I took my sticky off because I completed it. There it is. And that is for the first book in a series. So I read this in a day with the help of an audiobook. I had a free token type thing on Audible, and so I used that and got this for free to listen to. I think I only read the physical copy of this, maybe 3 chapters out of the entire time, because reasons that I will get into. I will let you know right now I gave it a 1 star, and I never give books 1 stars. I think out of the entire time I've been reading, 1, maybe 2 books has a 1 star rating. So you know this one is got a lot wrong going on with it. So this basically follows this character called A. A is not female, A is not male, A is just a being that leaps from body to body. So A wakes up in different people each day and lives, and A just does that. He has his own, A has his own set of rules, you calling he or she, and abides by those to not ruin the people that he's inhabiting their lives by doing something wrong. So A just calmly goes on with A's day. But A runs into some problems, problem being a Rhiannon, a girl, and everything just kind of goes out of control after that. So this review does contain spoilers. I could not figure out a way to not talk about this and not spoil anything. So if you have not read this book and are planning on it, do not continue further. I didn't know what I was really getting into because there's not much of a synopsis. If you've seen the back of this or have read it on Goodreads or something, it's kind of telling but also mysterious because you don't really know what's going on. Like, who is A and why does A keep inhabiting people's bodies? I don't know. And every time I say A and who is A, what is A, it reminds me, it like makes me think of watching Pretty Little Liars, and that is gone and off, so we should not be having this mystery again. I'm done with A's. So the good about this book, literally none. There's none for me. I could not find one good thing throughout this entire book. I just So let's get into the bad. So first off, there are a lot of questions raised in this book. You're wondering, who is A? Why is A doing this? And how is it even a thing to be able to leap from body to body and you just being a thing? I don't even know what he is because we don't get because we don't get any answers. So if you're someone who loves answers from a question of book, you're not going to get any because throughout the entire thing, I was waiting for answers to all these questions. There was nothing. I have no idea still because I can't figure it out. There's just... David Leviathan wrote a book that raises questions and didn't give any answers, and that is one of the major things that annoys me about this, because I don't know, it's wrong. I want answers after I put my time into this book. Maybe it's because it's a series and we'll get more answers in the sequel, but come on, just one answer or something. That was a huge letdown, and I'm not very happy about that. So A wakes up in someone's body, and we immediately acknowledge that A can't see their inner thoughts. So they can't see how they would normally act, how they would normally feel, or what things they would say. But then a few chapters later, when the plot needed him to be to be able to know what's going on and how this person acts, suddenly can read into those thoughts. So it just kind of changes when the plot needs it to, and that was a huge inconsistency because how's that going with anything you first said? So there are 2 points of this story. One being the romance, alright? And the other is focusing on the plots of the various side characters. So firstly, the romance. You know I love my romance. I really do. I love my romance, and I'm so glad that it's in books and I could read it. And this one had it a lot more than it let on. So one of the major plot things in this is instant love. A wakes up in Justin's body in the very first opening chapter. Justin has a girlfriend named Rhiannon. Well, Justin, as in his body, sees Rhiannon, and the second he does, he falls in, falls in love. I'm going to keep doing that. For now, I'm just going to call him he, okay? This is confusing me. He falls in love with Rhiannon because he gets her, apparently, because she's sad, but is resourceful and strong. I don't know how he sees all that in the next 2 seconds that he's with her, but apparently they connected, and he just can't help but fall in love with a sad girl that likes oceans. I'm not that into instant love. It could take over a few weeks, maybe, fine, okay, but not 2 seconds into meeting each other. That was a little annoying, and considering A isn't an actual person, is a little inconsiderate towards Rhiannon, because A, as Justin hung out with her, and was completely different to how Justin appears. You know, Justin is someone who puts her down, who constantly hurts her emotionally and mentally, maybe even physically, I don't know, and he obviously has a hate towards the world, and that's everything A is not. So it kind of confused her, and I could feel her pain and confusion when Justin came back to who he was, and suddenly everything was changed. So I found that really inconsiderate of A to do to this character, and I felt so bad for Rhiannon because of this. So A basically sets a plan in motion where every time A jumps into a new body, he'd make that body skip school or something and go to Rhiannon and talk to her and try to convince her that A is in that body. And that's kind of stalkerish and obsessive, and that really made me uncomfortable. So while reading this, or forcing myself to, I got that we were supposed to sympathize with A in his plight of continuously jumping to body and never having a concrete concubine, I don't know, soul body thing. But for the life of me, I cannot sympathize with him because this is completely terrible. If you think on it like that, okay, sure, it's sad, but what about the fact that A is jumping into people's bodies? He is physically taking over their mind and their bodies, and he is completely changing their lives. In a few instances, he makes them skip school. He makes them fight with people that they usually don't, say words they usually don't, wear things they usually don't. He even had one girl move to a new town. I can't sympathize with someone that's doing that to these people, because they're not giving their consent, they're just taking over. And it reminds me of like some demon possession. He's just taking over your body, and A needs to be exercised because that ain't cool. So this next one is about the hosts that A jumps into. As I already mentioned, he kind of made them do stuff that they normally wouldn't do, and how wrong that is. But each host we go into, we deal with their problems. Which the first few times, okay, cool, we get to see what they're feeling, what they're going through, and how something can change. But nothing happens, nothing changes. A just wakes up in a body, and every day, and this person, either they're dealing with obesity, depression, anxiety, being a transgender, or a cheerleader with mean rich parents, etc., etc. And after a while, it just got really annoying. Nothing was helped upon them. You know, A didn't do anything to ease them out of anxiety or to help with their mean rich parents. It was just A was there, saw it, and then left, and they're back to their lives. And as much as I like delving into those type of situations, this wasn't done that well. And Leviathan's inner thoughts and preferences came out pretty strong. This is basically a book about his feelings towards those things, those subjects. And I don't think he did it in a great way, because he just pushed on it and didn't let us readers come to our own conclusion or feelings about these characters. At one point, and this really makes me angry actually, A inhabits a female body, and that girl, well, A makes that girl go to Rhiannon and say, I love you type of thing, and you need to be with me, and it's me inside, it's me, A, you know, and obviously Rhiannon's shocked. Like, you don't go one day from liking a boy to waking up and liking a girl, and the way this was, it was kind of forced. Like, this is me, I'm A, and you need to like me, even though I'm in a girl's body. And it came off as A saying, well, if you don't like me because I'm a woman, then that's your fault, kind of thing. I'm like, no, that's not right. She's obviously into guys, and just because you change into a female body does not make her dumb or rude or hostile or anything like that, because she can't be with you, a female. I don't know, it really upset me, because Leviathan wrote it as it was her fault for not being able to love a woman, and I think that came across a wrong way, and I think he could have written that way better. He could have been sympathetic towards her and be like, yeah, it's kind of weird that I show up the next day from being a dude to being a chick and saying I love you and you have to love me. There is no science fiction in this book at all. At all. It is listed under science fiction. There's none, unless you count jumping body to body, which, okay, sure, maybe, but it's 98% romance and 2% science fiction. Because we don't get any answers, like I told you. There's nothing about it. There's no lab they go to figure it out, or blah, blah, blah. It's just a romance, and it was labeled completely wrong, and I was expecting science fiction, and so I didn't get what I wanted. This book really fell flat. I just could not get into those people's brains when he was in there, and I don't know, this book was an overall huge disappointment, and I can't believe I made myself finish reading this for the hopes of there being answers. I really should have just read reviews, because it was bad, guys. I don't know. I didn't like it at all. So there's the end of my review. Again, I give it 1 star. I do not plan on reading the next book. I do not. If you have read this, what did you think? What are your thoughts? Do you agree, disagree on some points? Comment below so we can chat together and talk about it. I'd really love to. I'm also doing a giveaway, which I will post the video down below, for the Gentleman's Guide of Vice and Virtue. The rules will be in the next video, but I'll put them down here too. And I hope you enter that for a chance to win. So, here's the end of the video. Please like and subscribe if you already haven't and you wish to. I'd appreciate it so much.